I hit the. There it is. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah.
Hey, Shagdog and Jammer, Spitter Swallow beer review. A Dogfish Head.
Jammer.
Dogfish Head double review, but we got two different beers though.
Hey, I have Shagdog, the limited release of 120-minute IPA, the Imperial India Pale Ale, the holy grail for hopheads. It's 15.5%. Gets a 92 by the BA, but that was at 18%. So I don't know. It says it varies from what you said, 15 to
15 to 20.
So mine is a 15.5. I think they do this purposely in order to make cheap batches and sell it for the premium price of 20 ABV and trick people into buying them because they think they're getting the 20.
I mean, it's just weird because it says, colossal 45-degree Plato boil for full 2 hours. I'll be a continuously high alpha American hops, then dry hop daily in a fermenter for a month and age for another month on a whole leaf hop. So I don't know if that's the reason why the ABV varies. I don't know. But you're right. If the ABV is less, you should pay less, right?
Yeah. But anyway, the other thing it says here, continually hopped with a copious amount of high alpha American hops throughout the boil and whirlpool, and then dry hopped with a boatload of hops. It's the holy grail for hopheads. What you got there, Shagdog?
I'm doing Dogfish Heads, Grateful Dead Juicy Pale Ale. I'm not sure when it came out, but I saw a couple articles about it. It's an American Pale Ale, only 5.3% ABV. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's got a bunch of stuff on it, but it does have El Dorado, Azaka hops. Is that it? Yeah, it looks like about it. Pale grains, granola, heaps of good karma. Okay, there we go. Got some granola in there and grains.
Well, mine has a caramel looking look to it that's a little hazy. The head is actually a yellow golden, almost going into a like a caramel brown head, a butterscotch head, and it's quickly dissipating. Aroma, it's sweet, hoppy. It does have a little malty there, but overall it's citrusy with pine and grapefruit type aromas, as well as it smells sweet. So I'm interested in finding this out because, as you know, I don't mind a little sweetness, but if it's overly sweet when it gets high in ABV, it's just going to be, you know what I mean? Anyway, cheers, Shagdog. Tell us what you got.
Cheers. I already did tell you what I got.
For aroma, appearance.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the head's nice and frothy a little bit, but it's only about one finger right now. Cloudy, kind of a golden pale yellow, mostly. Maybe a slight amber in there.
Woo!
And on the nose, it's definitely a pineapple, fruity, maybe a little mango.
Yeah.
A little piney hoppiness in there, maybe. I'm ready to drink it, Jammer. Cheers.
Cheers, my friend. Man, I'm going to tell you right now, this is throwing me for a loop and made me almost bark myself, Shagdog. That's the crazy thing about it. This thing almost made me bark myself. As far as the flavor go, it's got notes of toffee, caramel type flavors. It's not cloying or anything like that, but it does have a bit of maybe just a little bit of a syrupy type characteristic. Man, it's got like a nice fruitiness to it that almost goes into a tropical like type fruit flavor. It's man, got a little dankness in there, but I would say it leans on the apricot to the typical suspects: apricot, a little mango, pineapple, orange type flavors with maybe a slight little papaya and grapefruit, along with maybe a little bit of like a wild flower honey, something like that. It's got a nice piney flavor to it. The honey is really subdued, but it kind of, I don't even know if I would say wildflower. Just honey in general, A little resiny here and there, but overall it's pretty tasty, pretty easy to drink. And for 15.5% ABV, it hides it, even though I do have a warming sensation in that regard.
Yeah.
But it's pretty easy to drink for 15.5, and which really impresses me, and I'm pleasantly surprised by.
That's nice. And Grateful Dead. My friend got a tattoo of that Space Your Face, the skull part of it,
Yeah.
with the blue and red and the lightning bolt. And when he was like 17 years old, long story jammer, but try to tell it short. He was going around at the under 18 dance club we used to hang out, telling all the girls he was in the reggae and stuff too.
Oh, I remember this story.
He's buying a new Ziggy Marley album, and all the girls are giving him $2, $5, $10. He was getting off all these girls, and he got like $75, went and got that tattoo
Instead.
Yeah, he got the Ziggy Marley eventually, but probably a couple weeks later.
Just tells you if you ask people, they'll give you money.
Yeah, especially if you're a good smoocher, yeah, or a smoocher, not moocher. I'm a good smoocher, but not moocher.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to ask. Reminds me of a time when I was with my friend, and at lunchtime we would sit out there. We wouldn't use our own lunch money unless we desperately had to.
I think I heard this story.
Yeah.
But one of our viewers might not have.
And we would sit out there and say, "Hey, you got a quarter you can give me? Got 50 cents you can give me?" We never said borrow because we're not borrowing. We just want you to give it to us. And we would always get enough to buy lunch, and we would split it.
That's nice.
And save our money. So talk about being frugal.
Yeah, that's teamwork right there.
Yeah, that's teamwork frugal.
Yeah.
Yeah. We would buy a hamburger or some pizza. We'd cut it in half.
At least you don't cut it in 1/8, right? Because you do a commercial where it's a pizza commercial, but the lady puts 2 hamburgers, whatever. Domino's pizza, whatever a pizza costs for 2 pizzas. Well, the 2 hamburgers cost the same as 2 pizzas, and then there's like 8 kids or 16 kids who go, "Here you go, we're going to split these 2 hamburgers up to 1/8."
Yeah.
And have a little piece of hamburger like that big.
And you know what that tells you right there? That hamburger is used to be the one meal that economically challenged people, or just in general, families would be able to buy and be able to stretch by adding oats to it to make meatloaf, by putting it in spaghetti and just sprinkling it in there and so
pasta
forth.
meal, whatever,
all that kind of stuff. A hamburger helper built a whole industry off of it.
Dirty
whole
rice,
product line.
Maybe some hash with some potatoes or something.
Exactly. It was the meal that you could use to stretch, and that's what it did. And now it's gotten so expensive that it's not. And what they're trying to do is price out the real meat, the real protein, the real stuff, in order for you to buy the artificial crap or the insect crap.
Yeah.
They want you to eat bugs. They want you to get to the point where you can't afford to buy beef.
What a great business
or pork, and they want to force you to buy this other stuff and eat it.
That girl I dated for about 3 months got the cow farm, or whatever they want to call it, and they sold their cows. People would buy their cows. I guess they chop them up or whatever. Imagine that. You're breeding cows. How much a whole big ass cow sells for? I don't know how much, but I mean,
well, Googleize it. How much would a whole cow butchered cost?
Okay. How much would a cow cost if I bought it from a cow farmer and wanted to take it to butcher it? That was probably too much. $1,400 to $6,000, depending on the size, breed, and location.
Okay, how much would it cost to butcher it?
How much does it cost to butcher a cow? Live weight and hanging weight. Blah, 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 that's a lot of information. 70 to $1.50 per pound or higher, depending on the specific cuts. Slaughter fee 75 to 300. Rancher cost 3,000. Slaughter fee payable to the rancher 150. Butcher fee 600 pounds, 50% of the live weight, and process fee of $1.50 per pound. Hanging weight for a total of $900. So that's pretty expensive if you only got one of those low selling cows, huh?
Well, if you're doing it for yourself, it can be very expensive. But how much meat can all right? What's the typical weight of a cow, and how much a cow can meat can a cow produce?
What's the average cow meat you could get from one cow? Cow meat. A 1,100 pound cow will yield roughly 430 pounds of meat after being dressed. This represents about 62% of the cow's total weight. The exact amount of meat will vary based on individual cow size, blah, blah, blah.
All right, so $1.50 a pound times what you have there. What is it for?
430 pounds.
So times that by $1.50 at the very least.
Is it $1.50 a pound right now, or?
Well, that's what it said that you could get it for.
Oh, $1.50 times shit. Drunk math.
Times shit. That ain't gonna come up with much.
I lost the info. Yeah, well, it's
400 and some odd pounds, 65 pounds.
430 times $1.50. There we go. 645.
645 United States dollars.
So it costs you at least that, at the very least.
Yeah.
For the
But-
and then on top of it, the actual cow cost and the
Yeah, but if you're raising the cows and not doing any of that stuff, just selling cows, I mean, you ain't got to deal with all that stuff.
Well, my whole thing is this: is that
Especially the
used to
grass-fed.
people would go in together. The 2 or 3 families would go in together and buy a cow and then have it butchered,
Yeah.
and then they
Yeah.
would parcel out the meat to each other, evenly.
Well, they just they raise the cows. It used to be a milk farm or something down there. It's like the grandparents, the cousins, whole bunch, all of them live around the pasture there.
Yeah.
And they just raise the cows. They don't have to do nothing with them unless take it to the vet or have a vet come in or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Only time they have to do something is when they got to rustle some cows and get it onto a truck to take it to somebody. That's all they do,
Well, for them, it's easy to have cows on their land. Is what I'm getting at as a consumer. Me buying a cow from them. That's my thing.
Okay, yeah.
How
All
much would I have to pay for that meat compared to what I'm paying for it in the market today?
True. I understand where you're coming from. I'm coming from the businessman type. I'd rather just raise cows, let them eat grass, and sell them.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful for you.
And I'll
My
eat the
thing
bugs.
is that you also going to end up having to have a cow slaughtered for yourself. So the next question I would have is, how long can that meat last for?
I would tell them, hey, I'm going to sell you this cow, but I want this many pounds back from it. I'm going to take a cheap price off it, too.
Well, you'd have to sell it cheaper, and you'd have to, kick in, basically.
I mean, I think it's price gouging, really. What do you think?
I
Because
think
the
ever
big
since
kettle, since 2020,
yeah,
everything's been a scam since then.
that they really pushed on the prices back on there, and they've increased the prices of hamburger meat. You used to get hamburger meat for like 49, 39, 59 cents a pound. Now you're paying $6 a pound for it. That's ridiculous.
And how much you think their workers really got raises over these past 5 years? Probably not much.
And the cost of caring for the beef, it may have gone up because the green people pushing the green agenda of eco-friendly and everything has pushed it to cause the prices to go up. People want to be green and take care of the earth. I get it. You want to do that, but do you realize what you're doing to yourself when you're pushing for these programs and stuff to go into effect? It's going to affect your end price of your groceries. What you're going to end up paying for that stuff. I mean, hell, I can't even find a top sirloin steak in the store, and if I do, it's like $12, $15 a pound. Used to be that was the cheapest, one of the cheapest cuts you could get. You know.
Wow. I don't even buy a steak. I rarely buy hamburger anymore. I use the insect stuff.
I figured you would.
Just kidding.
That makes a lot of
No,
sense.
I buy those things you used to buy. You know, the tube of hamburgers. I try to get those when I go shopping. I get the big
I
ones.
can tell you a
It's
great
the
place to go. It has the best, and that was GFS Gordon's. GFS.
That's a store.
Gordon's Food Service.
I never heard of it.
Gordon's Food Service. I used to go
Gordon's
there and I'd pick up hamburger meat there. They had the restaurant.
Oh, they don't have one here. They got one way up in North Carolina, I think, or no, north part of South Carolina by the border.
Yeah,
Of North Carolina.
I would buy the tube of hamburger meat from them. That was the restaurant quality. And I would get that, and I would parcel it out. And let me just tell you, that was the best hamburger meat that I would get. It was just very flavorful, very.
So would it be worth the trip for me to go to Greenville, South Carolina, 2-hour drive to get meat?
I don't know. You might be able to find it closer from a local farmer, local cattle rancher.
Oh. But it would be worth the trip to Greenville because they do have a Total Wine and More up there. I haven't been to yet. It's like a 2.5 hour drive, but be good for a weekend trip or something.
We ventured off, but I'm going to tell you, this beer here for me is a sipper. I can feel it affecting me already. That's the scary part.
Yeah, we didn't give a grade or anything. We just went off on cows and shit.
No, my grade on this, I definitely would give it I would give it an A- and a sorter because it's very easy to drink, and A- because I think it can be a little less sweet, and it would be much better. I'm not saying to be more hoppy or bitter or anything like that, but I'm just saying because the hoppiness of it's not like the ones that we had before. That you get it and it's like, oh man, that's really hoppy. It's really toned down and smooth. The flavor's there from it, but it doesn't have the bitterness. It's very smooth and sweet in comparison.
Probably that high ABV is probably smoothing it out, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I think they made it sweet so that they could do that. But
You would like
overall,
this
that's
one,
what I
yeah.
give it.
This is a nice, juicy, regular American pale, and not an IPA. It's reminiscent of some juicy IPAs, but not as hoppy, of course. A nice juice to it, mango, pineapple, slight piney in there, but not overwhelming or anything. Yeah,
Label out.
pretty good. I'm gonna give it an A-, a Swarter, swallow and a quarter. There you go. Props to the Grateful Dead.
That's pretty good.
I went to get a Grateful Dead tattoo, and they really screwed up. They gave me a Danzig tattoo instead.
Almost looks like a Tesla or a ZZ Top, the Texas Roadhouse type thing.
Oh yeah, a little bit. But I mean, if you look close, it bled a little bit when I gave it. Got the little fang type teeth, and I only got that because I was a little slightly buzzed. We had to get skulls. Everybody in my army unit, we're getting skulls, any type of skulls, and they're all taking the cool ones. I was like, I don't want to get the same fucking skull, But then I saw this, and one of my friends back home in Pennsylvania was a Danzig fan. I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll get a Danzig tattoo skull. And after I got it, I was like, yeah, that was kind of stupid. And my friend didn't even believe it. I went home, and he's like, that's not real. And he's trying to rub it off. Because I don't like I like a couple of songs by Danzig, but I wasn't a Danzig fan.
I'm surprised you got a tattoo for that reason. You were peer pressured into it.
Yeah, we all just went real quick, drank some beers, went to the tattoo place. The fat dude grabbed my arm.
You could have went after drinking. I mean, I would have probably went to the strip club or to a whorehouse. You guys, let's all get together and have somebody stick us with needles and inject us with ink.
We probably should have had a tattoo wrote up because we had our little gang. We weren't really a gang, but we had this couple of people in our units went to Fort Fitzsimmons in Colorado, and they were X-ray technicians. I was in the medical unit. I wasn't a medic or anything, but they butter knifed each other with hot butter knives, and they did a heart, and then they did a cross beneath it. Like, so someone drew it, like actually did a good drawing, like a heart with a cross, and the medical snakes going around the bottom of the cross, coming up by the heart, and it looked pretty good. We're like, we should have all just got that as a tattoo, and we'd all still be like, oh, this is my brothers, and still be talking about it to this
brothers
day.
Brothers in arms, man.
Instead, we all just went and got crazy different. One guy got like a skull, had like a stake going through it, but a cross stake.
Yeah, I think the show camaraderie or just brotherly. What is the word I'm looking for?
Probably you got it all. Yeah, you said it all, Jim.
I would think that you would get something that would tie you guys together.
Yeah,
that's what the Marines do.
Yeah, I mean, really,
the Marines go out and they get a tattoo, and it's the same tattoo for everybody in their unit. That kind of thing.
Yeah, and there's a couple of guys from my first 2 Army units I was in that I got.
That's right. You were in the Army. That's the reason why you didn't do like the Marines.
Yeah, fuck them. But there's a couple of them I have on my Facebook jammer, but a couple of them we chatted when we first add each other as friends on Facebook, chatted a little bit, and that's it. Haven't chatted with them. I mean, it's not like we have a conversation or anything.
Yeah, that's terrible. People that you would have lived and died for.
Right. I even had one of them.
Even talking to them.
Now there's one I still chat with occasionally. We talk about our Ecuadorian friend because the Ecuadorian friend blocked me back in 2020 because I said something about anyhow. But the other friend we had, he still tells me, yeah, Fernando said this, and Fernando's this, and Fernando is a liberal, and he doesn't pay taxes. He's a foreigner. I mean, he's supposedly a citizen now, but he doesn't pay any taxes, supposedly.
What was it? The show that I'm thinking is it's a 1988 film, Biloxi Blues. So you didn't have that camaraderie as like Biloxi Blues.
Man, that was one of the worst Army movies I've ever seen. Do you ever? We had better than that. While we were in the Army, we had camaraderie. I can't say that word too good.
Camaraderie? What the hell is that?
Camaraderie.
Commodity. We flushed each other down.
We did flush each other in a commode. Yeah. My first unit, some of us were tight.
Camaraderie.
And then in Panama is more like a part. We weren't really tight. I think it's as in fighting tight, but we were party tight. Yeah. I still have a couple of Panama guys I was stationed with in Panama on my Facebook, but I mean, hardly chat. I did have one of them invite me a couple of times to Jacksonville. He's in Texas, but he used to go to Jacksonville during Christmas for his family vacation, and then they go to Disney. So he invited me out there like once or twice. I was with Karen, and I was like, yeah, I'm not coming out with her. Yeah.
So let me ask you, would you go back to Panama for any reason?
I mean, there's only one reason for me to go there, but she's married, so there's no really reason for me to go there.
You don't think you could find another one that was just as good?
You know what? Speaking of the Panama Jammer, last night at work, I saw a customer, a young girl, probably she looked like maybe teenager, maybe late teens, early 20s. I couldn't tell. But I saw her with her mother, and she had a Panama shirt. It was like the Panama flag. It almost looked like a baseball jersey with no buttons, but a Panama
flag. Yeah, most of them do that, yeah.
And I said, Panama, how they pronounce it. And she looked at me, and the mother looks at me, and I'm assuming it's a mother, probably about my age. Not bad looking. Yeah. I look, hey. And I said, you guys from Panama? Oh, no. Our pastor at church is from Panama. That's why she has the shirt. I was like, oh, okay. So now I got to find out where the hell this church is with all the Panamanians, all the Hispanic people. Because what they say about the Hispanic booty or something, the one guy. Deport the man, but not that big booty Hispanics. Big
Well,
booty
you said that's not a very good army movie and all that stuff. And it wasn't really
that
supposed
was
to
all
be
right.
an army movie per se. It was
Yeah.
more of just a transformation, growth of one individual, basically, reflecting
Matt-
back upon his youth.
Thinking of Matthew Broderick in a movie, all I can think of is War Games and friggin' Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and yeah.
Yeah, well, Ferris Bueller's is iconic, man.
I saw a conspiracy video. Ferris Bueller.
Bueller.
Yeah,
Bueller.
Ferris. There's some conspiracy theory about the Ferris Bueller movie, like how he does everything and knows everything.
Oh yeah.
I forget what the hell. Like,
It's Groundhog Day.
Yeah, Groundhog Day. Yeah, like he's living it over and over. They just don't show it. Yeah,
And he gets better at it each time because he knows what's going to happen and everything.
yeah, that's pretty good.
So yeah, I enjoyed that. I think that it's, the thing about it is, what I was getting at with the whole idea of that movie is just being able to look back upon your service, your time in this and everything, and find fond memories of it, and being able to still talk to some of the people from back then.
Man, basic training, don't have any of those people's information. AIT. I told you I came across some girl in Pittsburgh on one of these dating things. Looked like some girl I went to AIT with, and her name was Tina from Pittsburgh. Of course, on data site, I don't have the last name, but it looked like her. I was like, yeah, that could be her 30 years later, 35 years later. I sent her a message. She never replied back. Nothing, saying, no, it's not me. But it looked like her. And I was like, man, it could have been. Because I love that girl. She was hot.
Tina.
She used to tease me about
Come and face the pain.
cast. But yeah, the first unit, I mean, even one of my best friends for the unit, he finally, on New Jersey, he finally just got Facebook like 2 or 3 years ago. And we chatted once and never back. And I sent him a couple of messages, and I think his Facebook's gone now. So
And then he offed himself,
Weird.
right?
I hope not. I know a couple of people are going off themselves. Yeah.
I'm confusing it. I thought you were talking about the one that killed him. So.
No, that was my best friend from high school.
Oh, sorry. Not to be taking it lightly, man. I'm just saying. I'm sorry.
He was a Marine.
You can excuse me because
Yeah, I understand.
I may say things that may not reflect the true nature of Jammer.
All right. You ready for another one, or is that going to be it for today?
We can do another one. Why not?
Yeah, find a nice light beer since you got some chores to do this afternoon. And
Yeah, let's do another. What the hell? Maybe I just
your wife's going to come home.
3 or 4 and just say
Your
fuck it.
wife's going to come home and say, yeah, you're in big trouble, buddy.
Oh, well. Spontaneity is the spice of life, babe.
I want to hear you say it.
Sometimes you gotta mix it up. You gotta.
Yeah. I want to hear you tell your wife.
If I'm the typical standard, tried and true, die-hard, you can dependable guy all the time, well, that's just boring.
Right. That's true.
I projectile vomit across the room. I fall down and stumble or something like that. Now that
Have
brings
you
a
ever
little
done
spontaneity. No, but I mean, I could. It could happen.
I never
There's
really
always a possibility.
projectile this way. I never really projectile this way. Mm-hmm. Now I knew it was coming, so I projectile down towards the toilet or something, But like Chaz, the one time we were at Cheers, I don't know what the hell he was drinking before it wasn't quick in the night. We were only there for about an hour and a half. He was projectile puking by that pillar. Remember the table was by the pillar?
Yeah, I remember that.
And he's like, I feel better now. I didn't tell anybody. I was like, oh well. Hopefully nobody slips in it.
This is disgusting too.
That was crazy.
Yeah. We should have realized he had a problem then.
Tell you what, I try to stay away from liquor too much. I might do a shot or something once in a while, but if I drink too much liquor, man, I would get like that too, probably. Matter of fact, the day my brother gave the news that it was 2 to 3 weeks left, and I started hammering down some vodka. Well, you got to mix it with vodka, Mom. Of cranberry juice. Ran out of cranberry juice. What do you got now? Orange soda. What do you got now? Root beer. So I was mixing vodka with cranberry, orange soda, root beer, and I projectile vomit on the way home. I was trying to get my girlfriend to pull over. I got fucked up with that bad news. Probably wasn't the smart thing to do. And I puked, trying to puke out the window. She wouldn't stop. I had the window down, but the wind was blowing that shit right back in and blew on the roof.
You're not the intellectual type of person. You're more of the emotional, empathetic, emotional person. And that's not something bad. Well, let me put it like this. You're intellectually emotional.
That sounds better.
And what I mean by that is that maybe you're not purely just logic, because you tap into the emotional side of it, and I don't think that you would like to admit it, but it's true. You do tap into more of them.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of an empath.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little bit empath. I can actually sometimes feel some other people's
pain.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it.
Give me your pain.
I don't want to even deal. I don't want to take it from them, and I don't even want to deal with it. So I'm like, I got to leave this shit because this is just too much for me. Yeah.
No, give me your pain so you can. Remember Star Trek 5?
5. Yeah.
4, 5.
No, 4 was the Voyage Home. 5, and then it had 6.
Final Frontier. Yeah, it had
Final
Spock's
Frontier.
brother. Give me your pain. No, I want my pain. I need my pain. It's mine. Remember Captain Kirk?
Yeah. Well, it was really funny. The Final Frontier. I thought that one, the 6 was called The Undiscovered Country. I thought 5 should have been called The Undiscovered Country or something because it's undiscovered, center of the universe, basically. And 6 should have been The Final Frontier. I don't know.
What got me is that when. Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe they thought that was going to be the final movie, so we're going to call it The Final Frontier. Right.
Yeah, I think they actually did think that was the final movie, even though they had slotted a bunch of movies for the original cast to do. It was like 13 different movies.
Oh, really? I didn't get that far.
They had slotted. Yeah, they had slotted in for 13 different movies. Now, what I would say is that if I was me that was producing the movies as the movie company, Paramount, I would have looked at that script that they had for 5 and say that's too close to 1, the motion picture.
Yeah.
I would say that, yeah, I understand that it's a God, it's a different person, it's the devil that thinks he's God, or it's an entity that manipulates people to think that he's God. But you're going into this area like you would for Voyager, which was Voyager and the satellite. So I think that you need
Voyager's still out there too. 1 and 2.
I would have said to them, I think you need to revamp the idea for Star Trek 5. Let's find something different and go with that story instead of this story. And I would have been better off.
Start off right from the last.
Yeah, Voyage Home.
Yeah, they should have had some Klingon, Romulan, tri-war type thing. Yeah.
That would have been good. Yeah, but doing 5, I mean, that was pretty lame. And I get it.
Yeah.
They were putting it together and they were just riding the name. That's the problem.
And then even 6, they were just too kind of old by then. They're like, they're
the Undiscovered Country for 6. I mean, it was good per se to a degree, but
Bones was way too old. Bones should have been retired by that point.
Well, they should have made the other movies a lot faster than what they did because it was a few years before they did that one. Anyway, it's just
part 1 came out in 77, but then Wrath of Khan came out like 82. Search for Spock came out in like 84. So they released their 2, but then they had another gap.
They shouldn't have had such big gaps between them. They should have went with it and said, okay, yes, Star Trek the Motion Picture was not the greatest one, but it was enough to make a lot of money, and let's get that other movie out there, and let's start and keep going. Every year or every 2 years, we are releasing a film. But they didn't do that.
The Wrath of Khan. They should have had another satellite in that one, though.
But guess what? That was the heyday
Khan.
of movies, movie theater. Heyday of the movie. I say the 80s was probably the last really tried and true heyday of theaters, movie theaters, drive-ins, and
I think
walk-ins.
90s might have been the 90s were probably at peaks just because of certain movies that were big movies, like Saving Private Ryan or,
Yeah, but it was on the
big movies you went to see
decline
during
by
the
then.
Yeah. I mean, they did have big movies during the summer blockbusters. Really big decline since then, though. You don't even get hardly any good summer blockbusters. You might get a couple of one Marvel movie.
Well, I know that in the
nothing
90s, 90s and early 2000s, they had like the Hobbit, the movies.
Oh yeah, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars movies.
But
they were
for the
horrible.
most part, I say that the 80s going into part of the 90s was the last heyday.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think 96, I think it might be the last heyday because Independence Day came out that year. Twister, I can't think of anything else, but there were some three or four big blockbuster movies in the summer. Now you might have one if you're lucky.
But honestly, those movies, I didn't see them at the theater. I saw them at home. Independence Day.
Oh, I saw Independence
Twister,
Day.
All rentals.
I saw that and Twister. I was in the Army. Yeah, it was my last month in the Army. I saw those.
Those were rentals for me, So
wow. Even saw Mortal Kombat that summer.
And the reason I watched them at home, and the reason why I like watching stuff at home, is because I go to the theater and usually it's a crowd. They're noisy, they got their cell phones going off. The prices are so outrageous. I mean, come on, you spend anywhere between $5 and $10 for a drink and popcorn a piece. I mean, you're looking at $30-$40 just for the food and drink. What is that?
May 4th, 1999. That's The Mummy. We went to the old Dade City Theater to see that. Remember? And then we also went and saw Pearl Harbor together. I had my girlfriend upset for years over that because I started dating her 2 weeks before that came out, and I went with you to go see it. She was all upset.
We thought it was more of a military film, and it wasn't.
Yeah, action, yeah. That was
It
a
was
love story, yeah.
Freaking love story.
Until they got to bombing Pearl Harbor, and it was leaving a love story after that. But I mean, at least the bombing of Pearl Harbor part was pretty cool.
I was disappointed in that. I was very disappointed in that because
her father, we'd watch it later on, and he would fast forward it to the bombing part. He'd start the movie. Okay, let's get to the good part. He'd fast forward all the way to the Japs start bombing.
The other crap, we were sleeping in the theater.
I know. The worst thing, we should have stayed at the restaurant and kept drinking beers is probably what we were thinking.
Because we were sleeping during that time period.
Yeah.
Anyway, you ready to do one more?
Let's get to the next. Yeah, I'll do one more.
All right, let's do one more and call it a day.
All right, call it a day.
All right, one more. Call it a day. Jammer. That's who it is. We are the Spit or Swallow Beer Review. Space, the final frontier.
Final frontier.
Hey, Shagdog, taste the biscuit. Taste the biscuit.
There we go.
Hey, join Shagdog and Jammer every week on the Spit or Swallow Beer Review.